Hi guys! Let's start off our lesson the way we start off every week. Are you ready? Good day, students! I think I heard it. Good day. All right, so it's time for another little lesson with Miss Liz. So last week, if you happened to tune in and watch the video, we talked about how making bread was kind of like growing your faith. That you needed the right ingredients or else your faith wouldn't grow, like the bread dough wouldn't grow. So since we talked about bread last week, we're going to talk about fruit this week.
Bread, fruit. I just need a cheese episode.
Apparently quarantine's got me really hungry. I've been taking a lot of trips to the grocery store. Anyway, so why fruit? Well, since last week we talked about growing faith, it occurred to me, how do we know that our faith is growing? Well, how do you know, for instance, that a plant is growing? Well, you know a plant is growing when it gets big enough to produce some fruit or something that it grows. Okay, so trees are known by what they produce. We know they're growing. So let's say for a second, I know we're going to take a little path here. Instead of talking about faith for a minute, we're going to talk about trees. So let's say you were lost in the woods and you really needed something to eat. And you were surrounded by trees, but you didn't know what the trees were. If you were like me, I'm in 6th grade. We took a lesson at school about identifying different trees.
And I don't remember any of it.
So if I wanted to know what that tree was and whether it was something I could eat from, I would have to look for what it was growing. I'd have to look for the fruit. So I have some examples of different trees that grow different things. So this is a peach tree. You know how I know that? Because I am not an idiot. And that tree is growing peaches. Delicious ripe peaches. Lovely peach tree. This is an apple tree. Also, again, you do not have to be a rocket scientist. You know this is an apple tree because it is growing apples. Some trees are not that obvious though. This one, for instance, this is a tree you can find right here in Indiana. In fact, we've got some growing out my mother-in-law's woods. This is a black locust tree, or as I like to call it,
The spiky death tree.
that tree grows spikes all over its trunk, and when you're taking a nice relaxing walk through the woods and you aren't paying attention, that sucker will impale you right in the face. And instead of delicious fruit, you know what a black locust tree grows? Brown seed pods. Selah Fisher likes to call them bacon. They kind of do look like really burnt bacon. I mean, I don't know about you, but I have to be awfully desperate before I ate one of those things. Okay, I did some tree research and I found some more trees. Thankfully, these don't grow in Indiana. This one grows in Florida. So kids, next time you're on the beach in Florida, watch out for this one. This is called the manchineel tree, or the little apple of death tree. It has poison apples. The sap of this tree causes a blistering, horrible rash. In fact, if it's raining on the beach and you decide you're going to run under this tree and shield yourself from the rain, you will wish you had not, because just the water splashing off the tree can leave you with a nasty blistery rash. And I mean, look at these things. These look like delicious fruit, but if you eat one, you die. And then here's my favorite. This is just the best tree. This one has a really innocent, sweet name. It's called the sandbox tree. They grow down in like Africa or the South Americas or somewhere. But if you can see, it has spikes covering its trunk. The flowers that the fruit grows from also have nasty spikes on them. And then when the fruit gets ripe,
It explodes.
it explodes up to 240 kilometers per hour. That's really fast, and it flies, and it will actually injure and kill animals when it whacks them with these giant seed pods. Would you like to see? They look like this. They look like black murder pumpkins. That's what they look like to me. These things explode when they're ripe. So I've nicknamed this one
The exploding murder tree.
Some trees are great, some trees are rotten. What does that have to do with your faith? Well, the Bible uses the analogy in Galatians about fruit growing on trees to tell you what kind of things are growing in a person's heart. Okay. Your heart is kind of like a forest. Lots of things can get big and grow inside your heart. Depends on what you decide to let grow there. So before a person becomes a Christian, gives their life to Christ, there are things growing in your heart. But a lot of times, they aren't the sweet, good things. A lot of times, the things growing in your heart before you become a Christian are things like hatred and envy and jealousy and selfishness. In the Bible, those things are the fruit of the flesh, the bad things. We don't want those things to grow. Those things are like exploding murder trees. We don't want those things growing in our heart. But after a person becomes a Christian and they give their life to Christ, the Holy Spirit moves in and starts to help them root out all those bad, nasty trees. All the nasty things that have been growing, they start to die out, and instead, good things get planted in your heart. Good things start to grow as you learn to follow Jesus. The Holy Spirit helps you grow things like love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. I think maybe you've heard that before. We call those the fruit of the Spirit, and you probably memorized those if you were at church at all in the last year. Now, these fruits take time to grow. And the old plants, the old nasty stuff, takes time to die out. So don't expect your life to suddenly look perfect the second you become a believer in Jesus. But I'll tell you what, the longer you follow Jesus and the more you let the Holy Spirit do good work in your heart, the bigger your fruit's gonna get. I have a cute example here. These two apples are both really delicious. This one's called a rocket apple, and you can buy them by the bucketful at Walmart. It is tiny, but it is sweet and delicious. And this is a gala apple, and this one is big and delicious. But they're both fruit. They both show that that tree was growing something. So, what's the self-test here? How do you know for sure whether your faith is growing? It's easy. You simply think about the fruit of the Spirit, love, joy, peace, patience, etc., and you think, am I seeing more of that fruit now than I did a year ago, or when I first started following Jesus? Am I seeing a little more love, a little more patience, a little more kindness, or am I kind of the same as I was? Now, if you look at your heart and you think, those trees aren't growing at all, I am not any more patient, and I am certainly not kinder or more generous, that doesn't mean you're being a bad Christian. That means you have some work that Jesus needs to do in your life. And so that's a great time to admit to God, hey, I haven't been growing very much. I need your help. And God will really help you grow those good things in your life. So, do you think fruit grows on trees just for the sake of the tree? No. Fruit's meant to be shared. In fact, that's one of the main purposes of fruit, is so that the seeds inside this fruit can get spread and grow more trees. So guys, you want to spread all that good stuff that's growing in your heart with others. You want to spread the love, and you want to spread the kindness and help others grow the good seeds of the Holy Spirit in their own lives. That's what the fruit's really for. So my question for you this week, my challenge for you, is how can you spread some of this good fruit to the people you get to see? How can you spread that good fruit to your family and your friends and your neighbors and other people that you get to interact with during the week? How can you show others the love of God? Well, if you liked this video, I encourage you to share it with some of those people. What a good way to share some of the good fruit. Tell others about Little Lessons with Miss Liz. Invite them to church, because I know you might be seeing this video a month or a year from now, but we got to start church again. We got to start doing awesome stuff with people and bring them to church. Share some of that love. And also, if you want to leave me a comment down below, I would love to read what kind of things you're doing this week to help spread the good fruit. So I hope you guys have a great week. I'm so excited to be seeing you again soon. I'll talk to you later.